goodness, what is that? Is that a bass? Beautiful, largie right there. What is going on, KastKing family? We are back at it with another adventure, getting out here after a storm and trying to find that fall bite. So today's main goal is not only to try to catch some fish, but it's trying to show you guys my favorite lures to throw during this fall transition. So I already got one thing tied on there. I'll talk more about it when we get you guys on the chest cam. So without further ado, let's get after it and see if we can catch some fish. All right, guys, we got this little pond right here. Let's try to just pick this one apart. For some reason, oh my goodness, a little bait fish right there in front of me. Something happened. I don't know what that was all about. This pond seems to have a lot less water compared to everything else, so we're going to try to get around this one a lot quicker. A lot smaller body of water too. So rod and reel that we're throwing though is a Speed Demon rod. Oh my goodness, what is that? Is that a bass? Is that a bluegill? There's something that's coming up at me and like swiping. That's weird. I'm like trying to explain to you guys what's going on. There's just fish swiping at me. Anyways, we're throwing this on a 7'6" medium heavy rod. This is Speed Demon rod. We got it paired up with a Mega Jaws Elite reel with 15-pound fluorocarbon line, and the chatterbait that we have is a black and blue Z-Man chatterbait, if I'm not mistaken. It helps us stand out with those colors. That black and blue definitely will stand out in this nasty murky water, and I believe this is a 1/2 ounce, maybe a 3/8 if not ounce lure. But this is one of my favorite things to throw this time of the year. Seems like these fish, they get a little more finicky. They start diving towards the bottom. They're not looking for food as much, but when they see something they like, they're gonna go for it. And I've always had really good luck with these chatterbaits this time of the year, so we're gonna lean towards that right now. For some reason, if we can't get the bite on that, I got a handful of other lures that we can throw. So one of my favorite things about these chatterbaits, you can still flip and skip them, and it makes it so much easier to fish structure when you're fishing murky stained water like this. Still want to find a way to drive that bite in with that blade noise and vibration, but still be able to flip and pitch and get in and out of these trees without having to worry about getting hung up in there and tangled up with those treble hooks. Oh, that's a good fish. I got hammered. That's a good fish. That's a good fish. Just slow rolling it on the bottom. Let's see if I can get him up. Yes, boys. That is a pretty good fish. That is what I'm talking about. Just slow rolling it on the bottom. We got ourselves first fish of the day on that chatterbait, just like that, guys. Solid little stud. Look how fat he is. Definitely fat for his size. I'd say it's probably about 2-pounder. Barely had him hooked. Look at that. Look at that. Just came out just like that. That's why we had to keep that tension on. Man, solid fish. I felt him just slightly thump that thing and then take off with it. Awesome, man. Let's go ahead and get him back in the water. I don't want to keep him out too long. First fish, just like that. We've been out here for about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. Seems like they want that real slow roll on the bottom. Rain's picking up, so we're just gonna keep on casting, keep on cranking, and see if we can get a few more. There's that rain. I don't think this is gonna let up anytime soon, so I'm gonna go ahead and make a last few casts as we're walking back to the car. All right, guys, we're back at it out here at a new spot. The rain has gone, but the cold front seems to have set in, so hopefully we can get some more bites going on this chatterbait. If not, I got a few other awesome baits we can try out, but let's go ahead and start fishing this area and see what we can find. Which makes me think that this chatterbait might work really good right here. Oh yeah, there's actually a bass right behind one of those bluegills. I wonder if I can get him to budge. I haven't picked that. All right, guys, real quick, we're gonna swap out our rig. Instead of throwing that chatterbait, it seems like the water's a lot more clear here, so these fish might not want to bite that thing right now. So I'm gonna swap out and go from this chatterbait to
probably just a straight Texas rig. I'm gonna look at my box and see what we got in here. This is my fall box, so I'll talk all about what we have in here. First thing I'm gonna talk about is this chatterbait, obviously one of my favorite lures to throw. But when we're not throwing chatterbaits during this fall transition, I usually try to imitate some of the bait fish that we have here in our ponds. So a jerkbait is a great way to get those finicky bass to bite. The ones like we just had roam up to our bait, but they don't want to actually bite it. For some reason, jerkbaits always work well. I always keep 2 different sizes in my box just because we never know what type of water we're going to be fishing and what size the bait fish is going to be. Additionally, we have as many bait fish cranks as we can get. I have a square bill that kind of matches a natural looking bait fish, and then I have a square bill that matches kind of that shad looking bait fish. Then we have some deeper divers, something that can kind of help us get a little bit further if we are fishing like a little bit deeper body of water. And then we got the lipless crank, which is probably one of the best lures to throw this time of the year. As you can see, that lipless body just allows them to work a lot easier through those leaves, through the structure, and through all the stuff that we've been getting tied up in. But unfortunately, because they have treble hooks, you still will get hung up, and that's why we've been working that chatterbait. And last but not least, some of my favorite other lures is going to be this one right here, this Death Stalker. It is just a little bladed bait, and it has a little blade right here behind it. It's very simple. You just kind of jig it, or you can throw it right out there, but it imitates bait fish very, very well this time of the year. So I'm really contemplating what I'm going to put on right now. I don't have a lot of time left in the day, so I'm going to try to just power fish. We'll probably change out a few different lures and see what gets going. Texas rig might be the best to go because we can fish it down in that grass and not have to worry about anything. So I'm gonna rig up a Texas rig really quick. If I can't get anything going on that, then we might just swap out to another bait, or we might just swap out to another location. Now, unfortunately, I only brought one type of soft plastic with me, so we're gonna keep it rolling with that black and blue little exopod. Just a little split tail grub essentially is what it is. And it usually gets the bite going, so let's see if we can make it happen. Oh, that's a fish, that's a fish. Oh yeah, we swapped out, put on a Texas rig, and we found them right in the grass where they should be. Let's get them up nice and easy. Oh my goodness, that is actually a pretty decent fish right there, guys. Wasn't expecting to get that. I was kind of just watching that bird eat fish. But there we go, second fish of the day, swapped out. Same style, we went that little grub, got rid of the blade, working in and out of that grass a lot easier. And as you can see, we got ourselves a nice sized largie, man. This guy, real thick, eating up. So we're gonna keep fishing this grass line. That means that these guys are gonna be hugged up in there. So let's go, guys. I'm gonna come to a nice area where we can release them. All right, buddy, till next time. Pretty good. Let's readjust. Make sure our line's not frayed. We're good. Make sure our weight stop is down. Our bait doesn't look too chewed up. Pretty nice, man. I was working that pretty far from the grass. I'm pretty sure he saw this dark color looking like a shadow and just came out and just annihilated that thing. I'm gonna give it a cast in the same spot. Good chance that there's more than one fish over there. I saw this bird over here pulling up bluegill, little bait fish and stuff, and I noticed over there was a bass hanging out with the bluegill. So I said, hey, let's try to fish this area real quick. Maybe there's a bass that this bird can't eat hugged up over here somewhere. Sure enough, we found him. All right, there's some pretty intense grass right here. I'm gonna try to get in this area and just kind of fish it lightly. Just kind of roll through it. Damn, getting hit. Yeah, we got hit. That's a secret sauce. Get in that grass. That's that secret sauce. Get in that grass. You'll get that bass. There we go. Swap that out and we're finding the bite. Same trailer, different fish, all about the same size that we've been catching too. Seems like those fall transition males are starting to eat up, getting ready for that spawn season. Beautiful, beautiful fish though. Let's go ahead and get this one back in the water. Nice little landing on that. It's kind of hard when you're fishing from like a 10-foot ledge like this, but we're finding a little technique, we're finding a rhythm. They're in the grass, we got a lure that's working. I'm gonna keep on just fishing this area. And once again, guys, this is nothing too fancy. You could do this with basically any type of craw bait, probably a worm too, or even like a paddle tail would work, a lizard, basically anything during this time of the year. These fish are ready to eat, but they're in this grass, so we're gonna have to find ways to drive them in there. I thought the chatterbait would be the best bet, but it seems like today Texas rig is the way to go. There's a nice little opening across from us, like there's a few little pockets, so I'm gonna keep on casting across. I don't like to usually fish that far out from a ledge like this because you lose a lot of leverage like that, and we got a fish, so we gotta be careful. It's a little guy though, it's a dink. I'm just gonna let him easy fight in. Oh man, I gave him the kitchen sink on that hook set. Go ahead, get this guy and hooked real quick. Back in the water. Little tiny dinkus. I had a good feeling about that pocket. It's just two little openings. Looks fishy. It's funny, man. I was gonna leave the spot. We just change out our bait or find the bite just like that.
Oh,
that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, that is the biggest one of the day, probably. He choked it too. Look at that. Just annihilated that thing all the way in the back of his throat. Yeah. Yeah, I was just saying, that's the biggest one of the day, man. Yeah, appreciate it, man. It's always fun until they kick you out of here. All right, guys, there we go. Oh, you want to see it? Not that close?
No, it's a fish.
It's a big fish, too.
Is that so cool? You've never seen one before.
You like it? You want to throw back?
Yummy.
I don't even know what that is. See you, guy. Awesome. Pretty awesome, guys. Just like that. Got another good size fish, man. It seems like this Texas rig, little split tail grub, is all you need right now to finish out the night strong. I think we got maybe 5 fish total. I'm gonna go ahead and trim my line a little bit. It's pretty frayed after that one. One thing I always check, rub your line after you catch a few fish, see how it's doing. Right now there's a few nicks in it. It feels like maybe either from rubbing on cement or just from how that fish might have choked that line. There we go, just like that, retied, same hook, same weight, same stop, same lure, same everything, except we got fresh line on there, so. Oh God, that's a fish, yeah. Oh my, that's a good fish too. Oh my, there we go. He got away at first, came back for it, got him that second time, dude, that is a porker. Look at the size of the belly on that fish. Look at that, that is a straight football. The size of that fish is insane. Beautiful, beautiful, largie right there. This is definitely the prettiest fish of the day. And look at him, got him hooked on the outside because he came by, swapped at it, missed it, and then got it that second time, just not how he wanted it. That is wild. Look how beautiful that fish is though, man. I think that puts our total at 7 fish right there. And we're still all on the same lure. That is pretty wild to me.
Well, guys, I think that is going to do it for today. We got out here with that mindset of catching some fish during this fall transition on some of my favorite baits, and we got it done with just 2 of them. That Texas rig and that chatterbait surely handled it, but you guys got to also see a large assortment of what I like to throw during this fall transition as well. So hopefully that gave you a good idea of not only what to throw, but how to catch them, and hopefully you guys enjoyed and learned a little bit. But that is going to be it for today's video. Once again, thank you, KastKing, for allowing me to take over the channel, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.